The next banned and restricted announcement is scheduled for Monday, September 1st, and I've heard a lot of speculation around what people think will be banned, or maybe things that won't be touched at all. So today, we're going to talk about the 3 cards that I think are going to be hit during the banned and restricted announcement, what heroes they affect, and how they may or may not help other heroes get back into a better spot in the classic constructed meta. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. The first hero we're going to talk about, and probably the most obvious, is going to be Gravy Bones. Gravy Bones is currently just dominating the classic constructed meta. It's putting like 4 to 5 copies in top 8s of events left and right at almost every single thing it goes to. Now, we have seen events where there's only been 2 or 3, but still, it's taking up 25% or more of the metagame. The best card that I think that we can hit from the Gravy Bones deck to be able to like really kneecap it a little bit is going to be Golden Tipple. Now, I don't think that we should ban all colors of Golden Tipple. I think we should restrict Golden Tipple. I think you should either leave Gravy Bones with Blue Tipple or with Red Tipple. I don't know which one is better to leave them with for the sake of argument here. I haven't really had enough time to like play around and figure that out. But I think that taking 2 colors of Golden Tipple away from them will really kneecap the deck. And for what it's worth, I think if you take all of them away, I think we get on almost like unplayable levels with the deck. But I think that we should look at this card as like Bonds of Ancestry and Katsu, how we only have it in red. I think this card generates so much value by generating gold, allowing you to activate Hook for free every turn. It puts allies into the graveyard, and it replenishes your hand. It does all of the things that Gravy Bones wants to be doing. So I think that hitting Golden Tipple and restricting it is something that could be really, really good for the format and could honestly help push other heroes back into the CC meta. Even though we have a pretty diverse meta right now, I think we can just help get other heroes into the limelight, which is never really a bad thing. I've heard a lot of people talk about Saltwater Swell. I don't think Saltwater Swell is a bad hit, but I think that if you hit Saltwater Swell and you leave 9 Golden Tipples in the deck, I don't think you've solved the problem. You've taken away a little bit of the ceiling of the deck, which is okay, and it does help a little bit, but it's not going to solve the overall like problem that Gravy Bones has. So I think that cutting just Swell would be a mistake, and I think cutting some number of Tipples and Swell might be a little bit of overkill. I've also heard people say that we should just go ahead and cut Chum from the deck. Just go ahead and ban Chum. If you ban Chum by itself, you are helping some decks in specific matchups, and I think that makes a lot of sense. But I also think that if you just ban Chum, you're also not solving the problem. From all of the games that I've watched, from all the games I've played, Gravy Bones having access to 9 copies of Golden Tipple is the problem. So going down to just reds or just blues, I think kneecaps it the perfect amount to where it's still a good and playable deck, but it's not dominating the meta. The next hero we're going to talk about is Slippy. Now, I think that Arachne Slip Through the Cracks is kind of just getting hit here, not because it's the problem, but because the card that I'm going to talk about is the problem. I think Take Up the Mantle is honestly just not an okay card. I think this is one of the most broken and absurd effects we've had on a card in an attack reaction ever. And it's in the Assassin class. If it was harder to mark your opponent, not just attacking them with a dagger or utilizing flick knives, I think this card would be fine. But Take Up the Mantle basically makes it to where you're playing 6 copies of Bonds of Agony. You're playing 6 copies of Kiss of Death or Persuasive Prognosis. You can turn it into anything, and if you're able to hit your opponent with 2 or 3 copies of Bonds of Agony over the course of an 8 or 9 turn game, you're automatically in a much better position. You are taking cards from their hand, you're taking cards from their deck, you're doing the whole thing with this card. My biggest problem with Take Up the Mantle is the fact that you, as the opponent, can never just always play around it. You're taking away a lot of the like skill-based like thought process to blocking assassins. Now, some plays that assassin players make are very telling that they have a Take Up the Mantle, but it's not always that on the table. And so I think you're taking away a lot of the agency, a lot of the decision making from the other side of the table for your opponent who's playing against assassin. And honestly, Take Up the Mantle just needs to go. I don't think banning flick knives or getting rid of Hunter's Glaive is correct in any capacity. Take Up the Mantle is just too powerful, It's a yellow 3 block you can pitch to Command and Conquer, or it grabs a card out of your graveyard and banishes it to make it a copy of that. It's insanely broken, and every single match that I've played or that I've watched played, Take Up the Mantle into a Bonds of Agony or a relevant on-hit effect can flip the game on its head and put it in a very weird spot. So I think all assassins kind of have to get punished because of the sins of Take Up the Mantle. The last hero we're going to talk about is Verdance, and I think this one is a little bit less on the nose than my other two picks, but I do think it fits into the category pretty well, and that's Plume of Evergrowth. Now, Plume of Evergrowth has been good, but not really felt like a problem until now. Now that there is an Earth version of Burn Bear called Light Up the Leaves, it is absolutely insane. Being able to plume back Burn Bear is crazy good value. Because when your opponent doesn't have any AB on the board or any Spell Void, and they're at 9, you're then able to just activate Plume, get the Light Up the Leaves back. You can pitch to activate Striders, play it, and Waning Moon. Now, it does require 3 blues, but the thing that makes this so powerful is we're taking away the aspect of Wizard already killing you at instant speed with Storm Striders by saying, hey, you don't even have to have this card in your hand or in your arsenal now. You can have it in your graveyard and you can still kill your opponent. That feels a little too broken to me. I think that's just a little bit too over the top. I don't really like the idea of something like that being in the game. So because of that, it's very possible that they ban Plume of Evergrowth. Now, that does hurt Jarl a little bit because Jarl uses it to like buy back Fellings and things like that. But I think Jarl might just have to pay for the sins of Verdance here. Guys, let me know in the comments down below what you think about my cards that I feel like are going to get banned. Do you think I'm crazy, or do you think maybe we're onto something here? If you do think I'm crazy, let me know which you think is going to get banned and what CC looks like after September the 1st. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy, guys.